Welcome into the Crypto Bunker podcast. Today is June 6th, 2021. And guys, let's just do a quick update on the price of Bitcoin. We're going to talk about Jack Mallers. We're going to talk about Blockstream and Square. We're going to talk about Jack Dorsey and what he said about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about the bigger macro picture for Bitcoin. Um, and we're going to talk about Greg Abbott and the the fact that they want to make Texas the Mecca of blockchain, which is pretty cool. Now, right now, it kind of seems like Bitcoin just doesn't care about the price, or I should say, about the news. Um, and unfortunately, it doesn't look very good right now. Um, as you guys know, we talked about before, if we broke above this wedge and tested it and started to break out, we would find ourselves at least going obviously to this key resistance level of 40,000. We never got there. We had the Elon tweets brought us down. Elon tweets again here. You can just see the Elon candles are always the biggest. And that's, it's disappointing that he has to keep doing this. But we're resilient in the Bitcoin community. We're resilient in the crypto community. And the important thing to know is macro-wise, this is, bullish. And it's almost like sometimes the point of these markets is to shake you out of your position. And that doesn't mean it has to necessarily be a volatile shakeout. This could play out for months, right? Of consolidation, crash, consolidation, rally, consolidation, and then we're sort of in this $40,000 to $25,000 range for months. Okay, and this is meant to bore the retail crowd. It's meant to help bigger whales continue to accumulate. But I think a bigger picture, again, we can talk about that later, but things are looking good for Bitcoin longer term. Shorter term, we have to sort of look at the charts and validate what they're telling us. And right now, we're pushing up against this and making this resistance now, which is really unfortunate. As you can see, we're sort of watching the resistance play out in live time, and it just doesn't look good. So I think once you see a sort of sell off below these levels, I know we sort of close a little bit below there, but again, this is a pretty key level of support. You can see around here as well. So 35.6 sort of acted as support throughout this whole thing as well. I guess 35, 5, same thing. So if we close, sort of below that range, I might even just move this down just a little bit because we have those other candles there for support, and then it acted as support there perfectly, and then we wick down to it here. So if you see us close a 4-hourly candle below this, we're already below this range. I think we take the measured move. And again, I talked about this before. It's kind of bearish here. I don't want to be one of these bearish, YouTube channels. Obviously, I love Bitcoin. I think macro, we're fine. If you're just hodling Bitcoin, continue to hold. There's no reason to sell. There's only reason to keep accumulating. And, takes us down to about 24,000. And, I think, again, I talked about this before, but we do have some good support in there. I guess, we're talking, that's like a 10-day range of support, I guess. But I think it's a key level because it's before, we get down to like the 20,000 range where we have a ton of support. I think, but, let's talk about, I guess, my scenarios of what I think would play out here. I think we'd probably bounce to here first. So 33,000, we might bounce off, bam, hit that wedge again, break down, confirm lower here, maybe break down to 31, sort of confirm around here. I mean, we could go sideways in this pattern for a while until we confirm. I think this is probably the most key level of all of them, which again goes all the way back to this support that we sort of created before we broke out. So it's very important for the bull market support, in my opinion. And again, none of this is financial advice. Obviously, if you're making advice based on my opinion, please don't do that. This is just for reference and for just general information purposes for you guys. So again, we can look at this bull market support as sort of the area of last resort. And again, if we break below that, I think we do touch down around these levels of 23, 24,000. So if you're trading, you have some leverage, just make sure, if you're on Abbott or whatever you're doing, and you borrowed money or whatever, and you have the chance of getting liquidated, just make sure that you have enough support covered, all the way down to, around these levels of 23 to 22,000, just in case. Obviously, we could, reverse here. There's no telling what exactly we could do. Right now, it's sort of giving people an opportunity to get out that are in these trades, because it just doesn't look good. We're not even above this anymore, and we've been above it, for almost half a month at this point. And now we're bumping up against it. People are probably getting out here, I'm guessing, because they realize, it doesn't look great. But again, we could, I mean, say we break above this line, test it. I mean, there's no reason why we can't just like chop around up here too. So that's enough with the price. But again, if you're just holding Bitcoin, you're not really worried about trading it or anything like that. Just keep stacking Bitcoin. It might be months of consolidation. It might be months of a slow grind down. It might be months of a slow grind up. No one knows. No one knows the true, direction of this thing right now. With Ethereum, it's actually looking a lot better because it is above and it's sort of using this as support here. But if we do break below, we're looking at 1400 or so. I think we pick up support here at this sort of bull market support band. As you can see, this sort of formed all the way back here even. So if I draw it even all the way back here, I think it's still support now. But we're looking at about 23, 22,000, somewhere in that range. Sorry, 2,300, 2,200. And we see a little bit of a head and shoulders forming here. If you see the head, the shoulder, this is sort of the other shoulder. If we took a measure move here, I have that here, probably take us down to this support range, 2,300. Nothing too crazy. Again, we might bounce around sort of as Bitcoin bounces around. And then if we confirm lower, that's probably where we see, something like a sort of a bigger crash and maybe 1,400 there. Polkadot, I mean, I think out of all of them probably looks the most bullish, but just because it's still like it's above this resistance here. It's above sort of this resistance that comes in there. But again, if we broke that, I mean, we have very strong support at like $10 for Polkadot. And like, you just have to know that the price really doesn't matter for what these projects are providing to the blockchain space. These are, I think, the three best projects you can be invested in, obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Polkadot, simply because I think they have the most people developing on them. They probably have the most people who are, excuse me, just, creativity in the Polkadot ecosystem is huge. They have parachains that are just starting now on the Kusama chain. And once they're ready from being on the Kusama chain, they'll move to the Polkadot chain. So anyway, just want to throw that out there. Let's cover a few things here. Blockstream, together with Square, they're building an open source, fully solar powered Bitcoin mining facility as one of the locations to demonstrate how Bitcoin mining and renewables can drive the clean energy transition. So again, I think this is really good news. Um, Square is seems like they're doing a lot with the blockchain space. They also announced that um, that they're going to create a cold storage wallet, through the Cash App, which is really cool because there's really no like mainstream exchanges who offer cold wallets like that. So it's super bullish for Bitcoin. Again, for the long term, if you want to stack Bitcoin on Square and then hold it in a cold storage wallet, that sounds pretty damn great to me. Pretty damn easy to be self-sovereign with your money. Jack Mallers had a massive announcement, and as you can see, today we take a small step for Bitcoin, one giant leap for mankind. And that announcement was that El Salvador is going to make Bitcoin legal tender, and it also is going to hold Bitcoin on its balance sheet as a country. We had the first president of a country with laser eyes, pretty cool stuff. And Bitcoin is just, going to rack up more and more of these countries, especially from like South America, poor countries in Africa. Um, a lot of bullish things are happening. We also saw that India reversed their ban on Bitcoin, which was, really great. And, that's a, population of people who are now going to be able to invest in Bitcoin freely. They reversed their stance on this because of the outcry and the pushback that they got on potentially banning Bitcoin. They never officially banned it. They were thinking about doing it, but now they decided not to. Although they keep flipping back and forth, um, I think that it's bullish long term again for Bitcoin for some of these countries to adopt it. So that's really cool. Let's talk about the bigger. Let's talk about Greg Abbott. Actually, he wants to make Texas the Mecca of blockchain. He said blockchain. He didn't say Bitcoin. I think mainly they're talking about Bitcoin. They have a lot of space for, um, obviously with their oil fields, they have a lot of places that have the gas flare, which they can use for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin will actually help Texas become more green initiative. Um, you know, and I think a lot of these places are going to build solar farms out in different. We heard about I think Montana or somewhere out in the west that's looking to build a massive solar farm for Bitcoin mining specifically. Might even be Wyoming, I'm not sure. So there's just so many good things happening for Bitcoin, but the price is not reacting at all. So what does this tell us? It tells us we might be in a little bit of a bear market here, and to prepare for, hope for the best, prepare for the worst, sort of mentality. I don't think, I mean, we're just losing momentum right now. But, a lot of this stuff is really good. Again, longer term, there's only 21 million Bitcoin. So if these people want to sell their Bitcoin, that will just distribute it out to people who want to buy it and hold it longer term. And, again, there could be some price manipulation going on from the whales, but that's just sort of how Bitcoin rolls. And eventually those people will be washed out, even the whales, because if we look at it on a long enough time preference, um, you know, everything goes to zero against Bitcoin. Besides, well, everything that's non-crypto probably will go to zero against Bitcoin longer term. But the macro picture for Bitcoin is great. Uh, the Fed and other countries just continue to keep printing money, and they have to continue to print money. That's the thing. Is that Bitcoin is a bet on the fact that the central banks have to continue to print money to prop the system up, regardless of what they might tell us, regardless of what they might say in terms of tapering. They're saying, oh, we're going to buy less and less bonds now. People are worried about that. They're going to, but honestly, the unemployment picture here in the United States is not looking great. They're going to have to continue to print for those people. We have a massive homeless problem, unfortunately, here in the United States as well. And you know, there's infrastructure that needs to be put in place. Biden just proposed a $6 trillion infrastructure plan. They're talking about even another stimulus package or plan, possibly, I think. I don't think that will happen, but you never know. I mean, if the stock market like crashes, then these people are probably going to have to step in just to save it. That's the thing. It's just propped up. The stock market actually rallied the other day based on the bad employment numbers. So it does the opposite because they know that they have to print more now that there's bad employment numbers. So, it looks like right now we are rallying up, and that's good. That we're gonna, maybe we'll get above this and we'll print some 4 hourlies here and then bam. You never know, right? You just don't know. But right now, I'm being a little bit safer. I took some money out, off at this resistance here. Obviously, it's gone a little bit up since I did that. But that's how Bitcoin works. And right now, it's sort of not looking great. But if we reconfirm and we test down here, and then we start to move off, I will reposition myself back in. I might lose a couple $100 on that. Obviously, again, not financial advice, but and not for long-term hodlers. This is just for people who are maybe trading a portion of their Bitcoin, within a platform or something like that. And I think, at the end of the day, the whole space is really bullish right now, and regardless of what happens with price. So I hope you guys got some information out of that might help you, with your trading, might help you with your bigger picture view of Bitcoin. And yeah, have a great day, and make sure you subscribe, like the video. Definitely helps with the algorithm. Really appreciate you guys watching my stream again yesterday of the Jack Muller's announcement. That was really cool. So I know I got some new subscribers here. Obviously, my channel's super young, but we're looking to do some fun things. So stick around, subscribe, like the video, and really appreciate it.